getting the thought through that a statement is one sentence. Okay, that's something that really needs to be pushed. A brand statement is one sentence describing you. That is a key component of employment and being able to get the best when you need it most, when you are actually trying to secure that all important uh, job that you want, that career you want. Because remember, there are a lot of them out there, but how many times have you seen, this is the one I want? This is the place I want to work the most. How many of you have encountered that? Seen that? That is the place I want to be. That is the spot I want to work at. Anybody seen that? Yeah. And you apply for it and you may not get it. So it instantly, well, I still see the listing. They're still looking and they didn't da 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 da. You get kind of resentments towards places. This happens all the time. But sometimes we have to look at what didn't go right. What set things off? What, you know, and sometimes it's not because we did something necessarily wrong, but we didn't do something right. So it's the little things that set things off. And so we need to look at those things. What are the things that we could do better? Not necessarily we did them wrong, but we can do them better. A brand statement, boom, is a foot in the door. If you can't get your foot in the door, you can't even get there. You're never going to land that position. So sometimes people look at these things that we tell them and they're like, I'm never going to do that. Okay, but the next person will. You want the cards stacked in your deck, your favor. You want those things. And if you want them, you're going to do them. If you don't do them, don't blame others when you don't get what you think you should have. Simple as that. You have to look at it like when you're going to school. I didn't get an A. Did you study? No. Did you do all the assignments? No. But I really wanted it. I see this all the time. I need this grade to pass. Okay, then you need to do all this work. Well, that takes a lot of time. I don't have time. Well, you're not going to get the A. If you want something, you will work for it. Okay, those are the things. If you want it, you will do it. If you throw excuses up, then you don't really want it. Now, there are things that do come along that actually do prevent them. You know, some things we can't stop, but then you get back up and you find another way. And that's it. Finding another way. Find another route. Perfect yourself. You know, work on yourself. We're never going to reach perfection, but perfecting yourself means improving. And you can do that. You can improve, you can build, you can do better. And this is what we are doing. And that brand statement that you put out describes you. It tells them, boom, in one sentence, boom, this is you. Okay. Now that elevator pitch, that is the multi-sentence. That is how you introduce yourself in social gatherings and everything. That's what pulls them in. That's the one you practice. That's the one that you give when they say, tell me a little bit about yourself. And that can have your brand statement in it. Do you see how you wrap that together? Has everybody got that? You see how these things go together. Okay, so everything we're going to learn is going to build together. Okay, and on Thursday, I'm going to show you how these pieces come together. And that's going to be a very important thing here. Okay, and so I'm talking with Cassandra, and she's going to meet with y'all at 10 a.m. Okay, on Thursday, and that's going to be a live thing. So at 10 a.m., you will not be coming in here live on Thursday. So I'm going to go over a few things on Wednesday. Thursday, you will not be coming into the live session here. All right. So I'll be doing a recorded session for Thursday, and I will send that link out to you. It's basically going to go over how to do the actual midterm. Everybody got that? So at 10 a.m. on Thursday, you are going to be meeting with Cassandra, okay, at the campus. Everybody got that? Okay, so she's going to meet with you, and you will have a question for attendance that day. So she's going to meet with you, and you will get your attendance question. I will send that out, and so that you will get that. I will be sending that out via email and text, so you can check either one of those. Okay, so that will be going out probably around 11 on Thursday. Okay, everybody got that? So your question on Thursday will be going out about 11 a.m. Okay, so watch for those, and you'll be getting that information out of that meeting with Cassandra. Okay, so please make sure that you are there to meet with her. All right, so we're going to wrap all this together. These things are going to come together, and it's going to become a very important part of this interview. And it's going to become a part of you. You're going to be out there socializing, meeting people in your career field. And this is going to be an integral part. Okay, now when you go out and you meet people, how many people have business cards? Anybody got business cards that you hand out to people? Or does anybody have electronic or digital business cards on your phones that you tap with each other, or you email or you text to people who need to get a hold of you for possible interview? Does anybody have those? No. Okay, so we're going to talk about those. Okay, on that brand statement, boom, put it on there. Okay, you want to meet people. How many people are networking already? Anybody networking, meeting people in your career field, talking to them? Anybody networking? Nobody? Nobody going to trade shows, things like that? Okay, we have a phrase here. If you're not networking, you're not working. You need to be networking. You need to be talking to people in your career fields in general. You need to be going to trade shows. Those in animal care, you should be going to vet seminars. There's been wildlife expos here in Orlando. There's been exotic animal trade shows here in Orlando, Tampa, everywhere. Need to find out where these people are going, because the best vet in the state are going there, and you can walk right up and talk to them, introduce yourself, and you know what? Out of all these things, 80 to 90% of the jobs are never listed. Did you know that? 80 to 90% of the jobs are never listed on a board, they're never listed in papers, etc. They come from networking. So you understand the phrase, if you're not networking, you're not working? How many people see the importance of getting out there and networking? Going up and meeting the people in your career fields. Electronics, there's electronic trade shows here almost every week in different areas. Sanford has them. They have them in Orlando. They have them in Tampa. They have them in Lake Nona. They have them all over. Okay, look for these people. Find out about apprenticeships, etc. All right. So those are things that are exciting and things that we are going to talk about. All right, so here we go. We are going to screen share, and if you think that's just filler and that, you really need to start thinking about how you're planning and how you're going to get out there. Because if you do the same things over and over and expect different outcome, that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same outcome. So if you don't change how you're doing things, don't expect the outcomes to be different. So we need to do things a little bit different. All right, so back to week 2. You should have already done this. Those of you that did do the elevator pitch, I put comments on those. So check in your grade book, you'll see comments on them. Elevator pitches that have been done have been really good. I tell you some hints and things that you can add or change or whatever. Take those as things, no matter what you do. If I put comments on it and you don't like the comment, don't change. Okay, and there's a reason why I'm saying that. I'm not saying that to be mean or sound snarky or anything. Never do anything in your career, regardless of who gives you the advice, if you don't feel comfortable with it. Why? Because you have to be your authentic self. If you try to change something to do things the way somebody tells you and you're not comfortable with it, it's going to come across very phony. You have to always be yourself. Everybody understand that? You cannot go out there and be somebody else in these interviews. It's going to come through. All right? Always be yourself. Always do what you are comfortable with. Even on your resume, don't make your resume to please somebody. Even in career services, if they tell you to do this and you don't like that, tell them, hey, don't do that. I don't like that. I can't tell that to somebody because I don't believe that. All right? Remember, you have a voice. You are in control. You have to maintain your control no matter who tells you. Put your foot down. Be the boss of your career. Be the boss of your business. Even if I tell you something to do on your resume, go, nope, not for me. Everything is advice. You take it, you leave it, or don't. All right? Okay. So today, that worst interview, we talked about that yesterday, and schedule that mock interview. All right. And then tomorrow, how many people now have talked to the person in the career field? Anybody? Have you talked to that person you're supposed to interview? All right. Yes. Because tomorrow you need to have those results. You need to do that little paper thing. And so please do it correctly. Please get a lot out of that. All right. All right. So we are rolling along. It's showtime. Okay. And so we are going to do this. Oops, if I turn my little pencil on, got that. Make sure I got plenty of cable here. Move my keyboard out of the way. There we go. Pencil on. Here we go. Oh, my little smiley face. We're going to give him some hair up here today. Draw some ears. There we go. How about that? I'm a regular artist today. So we're going to talk about the 3 types of job interviews which you can be invited to. Talk about sources of information for doing that research about a potential employer. How many people actually research the employers that you're applying for? Anybody? Do you research them? Okay, there's a reason. You know, a lot of people actually go to work for some of these companies. They do a bunch of work for them, and then it comes time to get paid, and there's no paycheck. Especially in Orlando and Tampa, people find out when it's paycheck time, all of a sudden their paychecks are no good. They work for a company and they don't get paid. So we need to do research. Fake companies, or they go and they fill out all this paperwork and all their information gets stolen. So we need to be a little careful about some of these employers. We're going to talk about in-person and virtual. Virtual interviews are becoming very, very popular. Types of questions they might ask. and examples of questions you need to ask. That's right. How many people ask questions during the interview, or you just or do you just listen? How many people just take the questions they give you and answer them, and then you get out as fast as you can? How many people do that route? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to teach you how to run that interview. It's your interview. Remember that you are the one in control. We're going to flip that table on them, okay? And identify ways to prepare for that interview. This is what you want here, okay? This is where you want the control. You're going to grow, and we're going to show you how right here, okay? At some point, you're going to get you're going to get an invite to a job interview, okay? They know you have skills because they saw it on that resume, because you used what? You used keywords. If you didn't use the keywords, you're not going to get to this point, okay? You better ever use those so you get to this point. So they pull you because they know you have things they want, okay? So they're either going to give you a phone call or an email, okay? How many people check their email once a day? Anybody? How many people, okay, how many people check their email twice a day? Anybody? How many people check it more than twice a day? Okay, so make sure, or I shouldn't say make sure, I strongly recommend you create an email account just for getting a job. Create a separate email account just for that. So everything you apply for goes only to there. So you're not fishing through all your bills, all the things that you want to go to concerts for, everything else. You're not looking for these invitations. Only things you apply for go to that dedicated email. It'll be quicker to find everything, because sometimes you'll get a thing that comes through and says, I need to hear from you today so we can set up an interview. You want to see that and apply for it, because if you miss that, you may miss an opportunity. Return that as quick as possible and be polite. Now, phone calls, okay? You're going to get phone calls from unknown numbers. Either if you don't answer unknown numbers, let it go to voicemail. Make sure you're checking those messages. If you pick it up, don't pick it up and go, who dis? Or be vulgar or rude because it's an unknown number. Okay? You're expecting unknown numbers because you're applying. Okay? If you're rude, vulgar, or anything like that, that's your first impression. Everybody got that? That is your first impression of to a potential employer. What do you think it's going to be like the rest of the time you're trying to convince them that you're a good person and a good fit? Okay? Be polite, express interest. You need to let them know, I'm interested in this. Make sure you know you have the right place and the time where to go. Confirm it, and the name of the person. You know how many people show up? Because I interview a lot of people. They show up and they have no idea who they're supposed to see. I'm here for the interview at 10 o'clock. Great. You know how many people we have doing interviews in a building? Which 10 o'clock? Well, for the interview. With who? Know who you are going to talk to, because you need to greet them by name. You need to thank them by name. Know the name of the person. Okay? Bring everything you think you will need and multiple copies. Okay? You need to know what you have in there. You need multiple copies of your resume, multiple copies of your references. Make sure you have your driver's license or any other identification you need to have, because you may need it for security at the building. Or what if that interview goes well
You guys negotiate things that they want to consider hiring you on the spot. Sometimes things happen. Be prepared, okay? When you respond to an email, use that etiquette. Make sure when you respond, uppercase, lowercase, punctuation, and make sure you confirm the details. I will be there at this location at this time to meet with you. Boom. Okay. You confirm everything. Now, this is definitely going to be on the midterm. What types of interviews are there? There's screening, they're structured and unstructured. Okay. Three types you're going to encounter. Now, screening, they're going to talk to a bunch of people just to make sure you have the basic skills they need. It's going to be brief. They're going to talk about skills, experience, availability. If you cannot work on certain days, be honest. Because if you tell them, oh, I can't work on Wednesdays, you get hired and then they schedule you on Wednesdays and then you have an issue with it, that's a problem. You lied to them. Don't tell them I'm available anytime and then say, oh, well, except these days. Be honest up front because they might have a shift set up just for that. But if you lie, you could be gone. Always be honest, okay? Now, screening interviews, a lot of times they use a recruiter or what's called a hiring manager. All they do is bring people in or to pull up people who sound qualified. They verify a few things. They do this by phone or they do it by video conference. If they do it by video conference, you need to be camera ready. Okay, everybody know what camera ready is? When I say camera ready, nobody knows. You need to be looking like you're ready for an interview. No one needs to be running around in your background. No kids need to be popping up. You don't want to have dirty clothes, dishes, etc. behind you. You know, nothing that shouldn't be seen at work should be in your background. Okay, sometimes people have embarrassing things behind them. Don't do that. And what they're doing is it's reducing down the number of candidates. They want to get that big list down small. Now, once you're in there, you might have one or two types of interviews, structured or unstructured. A structured one, everybody is going to get the same questions. This is also called a directive interview. Everybody gets the same questions. This way they know exactly what was asked and it's easier for them to track the responses. Okay. This is a little bit easier for them to evaluate everybody. Now, they can ask you the strangest question, but to them, it makes sense. They may want you to be creative. They might ask you questions to throw you off and then hit you with a harder question. Okay. Don't try to guess what they want to hear. That is the biggest problem people have with interviewing. They're trying to give an answer they think the person wants to hear. How many people have done that? You give the answer you think the person wants to hear, or you're trying to guess what they're thinking. Don't do that. Answer the question that's being asked and listen specifically to what they're asking and answer honestly. If you're trying to give them the answer that they want, they're writing this down. Nope. They don't want to hear what you think they want. Okay? That's not what they want to hear. They want to know that you are a thinker and you are not afraid to give your honest opinion. Okay? Answer correctly, not to what they want to hear. An unstructured interview. Now, most places are going to this. They're not as formal and everybody doesn't get the same questions. So it sounds more like a conversation than a test. How many people are getting these more frequently? They sound more like they're trying to be your friend. Yeah. Okay. Now, how many people have heard of a company called ADP? Also called the payroll company. Many people You'll see this on your paychecks. An A, it's like A, and then the D runs together, and then the P all scrolls like this. ADP pays more people in the United States except the federal government. They process the payrolls for every company you can practically name up. Okay? They run payrolls for everybody. They do tons and tons of interviewing. Okay? This is who I worked for years. Okay? I'm going to give you some tricks that they do. Okay? One of them is a lot of places, the person doing the interview will have pictures on their desk with children. And people go, oh, you have children too, right? Okay. You have just revealed you have children. That can take you out of the running. Okay. People with children tend to miss more work because they have kids that get sick, kids that need to go to appointments, things like that. So they mark you as a no hire. Okay. That is wrong. Okay. They shouldn't do that, but it happens. How many people have ever had an interviewer say, let me walk you out to your car? Anybody ever have that? They'll walk you out. Let me walk you out. Sounds like a very polite thing. A lot of interviewers will do that. I'll walk you out. And they escort you out after the interview. Anybody ever have that? They walk you out? Nope. Happens all the time. They're doing a couple of things. One, they're checking to see your transportation. You know, is it a decent mode of transportation or is it a hoopty? Okay. They want to make sure you have reliable looking transportation. Again, the other thing they're looking for are child seats in the car. Same thing. Child seats, children, you're going to miss a lot of work. Does everybody understand how interviewing can be stacked against you? Things that you're giving away and you don't realize it. Okay. When you approach the building, you need to be prepared. Everybody got that? You are prepared when you approach that building. You're not coming up to the building, combing your hair, adjusting your clothes, this and that, blah, blah, blah. You are prepared. Because what do most buildings have nowadays? They have cameras. They're watching you adjust yourself. They're watching you do this and that and blah, blah, blah. You need to be ready, okay? Unstructured interview, they're more friendly. They're trying to get your personality. The reason why they want that personality is because they need to make sure that you are going to fit in with teams. Remember those personality tests? How many people remember those personality tests? They want to find out where you're going to fit in with those teams. Now, people aren't trying to be rude or mean. They're working for their companies, okay? And with those companies, we want to research them. So check their websites, check their About Us section. Look for misspellings, look for physical addresses. If they don't have physical addresses on their websites, be leery about them. The other thing you're going to do is check out products. What do they do? What services? What size are they? And then look to see how they've been doing the past couple of years financially. You don't want to go to work for a company that's been struggling financially. Who are their competitors? Look at their competitors. Maybe you want to go work for their competitors. The other thing that you want to look for is what type of work environment it is. You know, how are the people there? What is the culture like? Okay, give you an example. The office that I used to work in for veterinary care, it was an old house. That's what it started off with. When it was converted to a vet clinic, what used to be the front porch, that area was now our reception area. The bedrooms were now the actual rooms where we took care of the patients. Then what was a den area, that was now the surgery area, et cetera, et cetera. We built a brand new veterinary clinic, cost $1.5 million. That's how much our new vet center cost, $1.5 million. It had 4 surgery areas. It had a complete dental area that could handle 4 patients at a time. We had digital x-rays. We had dental x-rays. We had 3 different kennel suites. We had inside a separate grooming area, etc., etc. Everything was state of the art. Our lobby looked like a Starbucks. $1.5 million. We lost half of our employees when we moved there. The reason why wasn't because their jobs changed, their pay changed. It was right next to where we were. The people didn't think that they could work there because it looked too good. How many people have looked at a place that they would love to work, but didn't think that they could work in that type of facility? It looked too nice, etc. Okay, we need to look at ourselves and go, I can do that. I can do that job. And just because that place looks so nice, I still belong there. I deserve to work in a good place. I deserve that. Don't look at a place and say, I don't because it's good. Okay. If you want to work there, your skills get you there. That gets you there. Okay. Everybody understand that? You deserve to be treated well. Okay. I want you to look at that. A lot of people want to work for Pearl. You vet people. Everyone knows who Pearl is. Everybody know about that clinic? Yeah. A lot of people want to work there, but at the same time, a lot of people are afraid. They don't think they deserve it. Okay. If you think you want to work there, do it. Okay. Can I get that promise out of everybody? You find a place you want to work, you're going to apply there. I need that promise from every one of you. I'm watching. Don't let the looks of a place hold you back. You deserve the best. That's why we research them. Okay. You are the focus. The show's all about you. This is your time to shine. And they're going to ask you questions to find out about you. Again, don't try to outthink them and give them what you think they want. Answer the questions. This is your opportunity to express your personality. Don't ramble away from the topic. Answer the question. Okay? Don't give long winded stories. Stick to the question. Okay? And they don't always do this face to face. Okay? Sometimes they are going to do them in person. And that's where you're in the same location. And it could be there at the office, or it could be at a place away from the office. Sometimes they're expanding and they have places remote because they want to do everything close to where the new facility is going to be built. Okay. So you can be done remotely. Now, how many people have had this? A panel interview. You go in and there's a whole group of people in the room that are going to interview all at once. So instead of talking to one person, you have to talk to like 5. Anybody have a panel interview yet? Nope. Okay, this is why you, oh, somebody have, all right. This is why you take multiple copies of everything. You give a copy to everyone. You don't say, here, share amongst yourself. Okay? The reason why is that everybody on the team, and they're going to hit you with questions. Answer them like it's one person. Okay? One person. You take their questions one at a time. You got this. Why? Because they're talking about you. How many people know yourself? How many people know yourself? You should. If you don't know yourself, where have you been? Do we need to introduce you to yourself? This is why interviews should not be as stressful as we make them out. They're asking about you, your favorite topic, your favorite subject. You know more about you than anybody else because you've lived with yourself forever. Okay? So don't sweat it. Breathe. And I want you to always do this. Go to an interview, do everything about it. After the interview, go out to your car, whatever, go somewhere, get you a soda, get you this, get you something to eat or something, reward yourself. Why? Make every interview a positive experience. Reward yourself in a way that you like. If you want to get something to eat, do that. If you like to work out, do that. If you like to jam out to music, do that. But always reward yourself with any interview that you've completed. Everybody got that? Do you see why we need to turn these things positive? Turn it positive. And this is how we start preparing for these things. Okay? Always do it positive. If you have to go any distance for an interview, take a pair of comfortable clothes with you after the interview, stop in somewhere, change into those comfortable clothes so you don't have to be in those interview clothes and enjoy the ride home. Okay? Turn this into a positive experience. This is how I get people jobs. Okay? People who don't get hired, people who go to interview after interview and fail, I tell them this is how you prepare. And bam, bam, they land those jobs. Take the fear out, take that stress out. Go in there and say, you know what? I'm here not to beg for a job. I'm here to decide when they offer me that job if they are right for me. Because just because they offer you a job doesn't mean you're going to take it. You need to decide if this is truly going to be correct for you. And we're going to talk about that one in a couple more classes, how to decide if what they offer is correct for you. So now, knowing that, and I probably know what you're going to put here, what I want to know is what is your most hated interview question and why? You must include the why you hate it. All right? Not just that you hate this question, but why do you? We That is the key component. Once you figure out the why, then you can solve it. You can knock it out. All right? Everybody got that? We're good on that one? All right. And so we are just sailing through this course. You guys are really getting it. So tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm going to show you how we are piecing this stuff together. And I think it's going to become a little bit more clear once you see how these pieces start to fall in place. All right. So we are going to do live class tomorrow. Then on Thursday, we're going to be halfway through. You are going to meet with Cassandra, and then I'm going to send out your question about that meeting around 11-ish. If it's not right there at 11, it will get there. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time. And then, of course, we won't meet actually live on Thursday. The other thing is on that midterm, midterms are never eligible for any type of extension. So that midterm uh, cannot be done after Sunday. Absolutely. All right. So y'all go out, have a great day. Make sure you get that attendance uh, participation in before 11:59. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.